Guess who's back? Back again. Honestly, I say every time I start a new podcast episode, it's the return of me, and then I go on the missing list for months. So, hello, how are we? Welcome back to the Mind of an Interior Designer podcast. I am your host, Ellie Fenlon, aka Fenlon Interiors, and I do love this podcast, but I tend to go on the missing list. But that's gonna stop, she says again. It is gonna stop though. Honestly, you haven't been a bit well. Sorry, life story before we start the podcast, but it's every time I say I'm going to start the podcast, the universe gives me bronchitis and I have no voice. And you don't want to hear me with bronchitis voice. It's given Elliot and not Ellie. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's given Husk Central. So that was not for me. Anyway, as you know, we love to talk all things interior design over here, and I thought what would be a really good episode for this week would be talking about a area and aspect of interior design that is vastly underrated is the word, is vastly underrated, and that is scent. Okay, because it's an aspect of design that just sort of gets brushed away. I mean, not necessarily for people selling property or even show homes. Obviously we're going to delve into this, but yeah, that is today's episode. So without further ado, let's start the podcast. As I said, as well as decorating with design, texture, colour to make us feel at home, it's important to keep in mind the other aspects that can influence the feeling in our interior, which is obviously scent. Now, there's been two occasions recently that have actually encouraged me to do this podcast episode. So the first one is I actually went to an amazing event a few weeks ago called Wow House, which is in London. It's actually available, I believe, for anybody to go. Obviously it probably would be best if you are in the interior industry because you will get a lot from it. Actually, do you know what, not even that, if you're obviously interested in interiors, definitely go. So what they do is it's in the design Chelsea Harbour, obviously on Chelsea Harbour. Am I okay today? I'm gonna call it post bronchitis brain fog. Yeah, so I went there, and all they do is they build like a house inside the building, but it's like I'm going to say like a long bungalow, and you go from room to room, and it's set out from and designed by different designers in the field. I've actually over here on YouTube, if you are watching on YouTube, I have a episode, I think it's only like 15 minutes long, not even that long, and it actually takes you through all the different designs that I seen when I was there. It's just like a come with me to the Wow House. It's a really good video, would recommend to watch it, and it shows you all the different like sort of like trends and what other designers are thinking about within like the society at the minute. Like there's all sorts of things going on, so I would recommend, if you've never been, definitely go. But this year it was actually sponsored by Diptyque. I feel like I said that right this time. I feel like everyone judges me on like TikTok. They're like, you've said it wrong, and I'm like, well, I think it's like, is it French founded? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it might not be. But they were sponsoring it this year, and every single room, it was something I noticed. Obviously, don't get me wrong, I noticed the design, shock, it's major, you know what I mean? But the scent, I was like, whoa. Every room you walked into, and specifically that bathroom, if you know, if you follow me on other socials, I showcase this amazing bathroom, and to describe it on here would just be a luxury escape. That's all I want to say. Unreal. Like, there was a big mural on the back of this like clawfoot tub, like freestanding bath, and I was like, wow. And then there was like flowers like coming away from the shower head, just sensational. But it smelled like a luxury spa, and I can't remember what fragrance, it'll be on the video, but I can't remember which Diptyque fragrance that they actually used. But wow, I was literally like, that's the first time I feel like in a while I've been blown away by scent, and I just feel like it just like boded well with the whole vibe, and like it made me realize, like, as a designer, like, wow, like scent is so important. Like, this has awoken me in this space. Not only was it an amazing obviously display of design, but also the smell was so intense, and it just made me feel alive in like the most designer way. Like, oh, you just had to be there, which is why scent is at the forefront of my mind at the minute. And another thing as well, I actually went to a new store that has opened in Liverpool. It's Utility. Like, you probably know Utility is like a gift store. So they were founded in Liverpool, and they've actually just recently opened a furniture store in Liverpool in Baltic Triangle. And apart from the amazing array of furnishings available, and obviously they are really adamant about not having dupes and selling all the designers like first off products, so that makes sense. The smell when I walked in, if you follow me on social media, I literally walked out, did a video, and I was like, I didn't ask what scent it was, and I felt mortified to even go back in. Like, imagine being like, hey, I've just been in this shop and the scent. So anyway, I did a video and I was like, if anyone from Utility actually watches this, because I thought they're not going to watch my video. No, they did, and they emailed me and told me the scent. I actually can't bear myself. But when I say that needs to be the scent in my home, like, I've never said that about anything. It was amazing. So it's actually something that they've had made for the store. So I don't know whether that might be something they're thinking about in the future, maybe offering it to customers, who knows. But it was, I can't say this, patchouli, that scent. It was that. But obviously there's going to be like different fragrance elements, because I've smelled a candle like that before, and I feel like it was nice when I've smelled it in a normal candle. Like, there's loads of home scents, but this just hit different use. And I think it was in one of those diffusers, like the electric diffusers, do you know what I mean? So it was just like 10-10. Like, I was walking around and I just kept getting distracted by scent. And then this is what's got me thinking how crucial scent is. And that goes down to like marketing as well. Like, remember when you used to go into Hollister, a significant scent, like, that was like the scent, like, you'd walk in and you would know that was Hollister. So scent is also what businesses use to define themselves, like, so you know that you're in there, do you know what I mean? You'll probably, now that you're listening to this, be more aware of your own scent. But I just think it's really fascinating. Like, you know, when you go to a spa, it's given lavender, tranquil, you want to feel relaxed. And this is the thing, like, scent is to evoke the brain. I was going to say the scent, then it's not. It's to evoke the brain. So obviously different scents we relate to the human body, to different things. Like, obviously, as you know, I'm a bit of a nervous flyer, you guys. Why am I making this about my personal life? It's actually embarrassing. I am a nervous flyer, severely nervous flyer. Anyone who's my friend knows how bad I am. So I actually have this little, like, rolly on now. It's exposure here, really is. I have like this little roll on that like smells of lavender. It's from This Works, so big shout out to This Works for helping me through my fear of flying. And there's this significant scent on it, like a lavender, but like it makes me go into like a zone where like I'm like, right, I'm getting on a plane now, this is the smell to calm me down. And like it really does. Whether that's placebo, I couldn't care less, because it helps, do you know what I mean? But like, it's probably with a lot of things in terms of like relaxants and scents and whatnot. It's like your brain like signifies that with something, if that makes sense. So like this is what literally like runs through my head, like, and blows my mind, and is my Roman Empire. We all have a house scent. Blows my mind. I speak to everyone about this. So like, obviously, like, it's a bit mad, isn't it? Like, everyone has their own house scent. And like, when I basically went on Instagram a few weeks ago, months ago even, and I was like, is anyone else blown away by like having a house scent? Like, for me, it's just like, how do we all have our different scents, but like also what's it made up of? Like, I can't get me science around this. And like, obviously, like, if I had a fella and we moved out, would my house scent come with me, or would his, or would we create our own like house scent? Is that like an animal thing? Like, is that like a human animal trait where like you make your own house smell? And then people were saying apparently it's like your cleaning products and things like that. But like, I think sometimes like it's just a bit mad. Like, I just think scent can evoke weird things. Like, there's been times, this is a bit woo woo, maybe, I don't know, but maybe someone out there can let me know what this is. But like, there's been times where in our house I've had just like a quick like scent of like maybe someone who's passed, and their house scent has been there like just for a split second. Now, I don't know what we believe in and what we don't, but that's a bit mad, isn't it? Like, just for a split 5 seconds I smelt that person's house scent and they're no longer with us. I know, I know. This is what blows. Scent is crazy. This is what I'm saying. Scent is crazy. I don't know what people's beliefs are, but that to me has happened a few times. I've got a really sensitive smell. Like, God help me when I have a baby in about 50 years by the way my love life's going. But anyway, yeah, God help me with my scent. This is what I mean about getting personal. Why do I go off on one? Just stick to the script, Ellie. Just stick to the script. Anyway, I did look into it ever so slightly about having our own house scent. Everyone says ours smells like lemons. Obviously it could be worse. Lemons is quite nice, but apparently everyone says we have a very distinctive smell. I mean, to be fair, my mum is like a mad woman on like the cleaning and stuff like that, so maybe that's why. But like, I mean, it's a nice smell, isn't it? But like, let me know in the comments. Let's chat this out. Like, I need to know what people's house scents are, and we do know that if you had a bad house smell, that would be good. So I actually don't know anyone with like I've gone ooh. I actually don't. I don't think I do know anyone with a bad house smell. And if I did, I wouldn't expose you on here. I'm not like that. But yeah, I did do a little bit of delving into it. And apparently, our home scent is a fingerprint. Like, there's no two home scents the same. That sounded like I was saying home scents. Home scent. Yeah, no two home scents, which is mad because I think to myself, like, when I do get a fella, like, I don't want his house scent. Like, I mean, this is awful. Imagine if he listens back to this. I'm so sorry. Like, your house might smell lovely, but I like my house smell. Like, I don't know what it smells like. Like, am I numb? Are we numb to our own house scent? Are we numb to it? I need to know. Tell me the science. But I want to bring my house scent. Like, I don't want a new one. Am I going to create a new one? I don't know. Oh, no, my head fell off. My head fell completely off. I need the science. It really is my Roman Empire. But our home scent is our fingerprint, so maybe I'm just going to have to accept the fact that I'm going to have a new home scent. I don't know. Anyway, another little fun fact is that 75% of our memories can be triggered by scent alone. And I find scent quite nostalgic, hence why I said before about like getting a little bit of a smell in the air of like someone who's passed and stuff like that. Like, if 75% of our memories can be triggered by scent alone, then I feel like that is that scientific? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like scent is very interesting and also very exciting, but you might have trouble with finding a scent, and that is okay. So I want to talk to you about like how we can create a nice scent in our home if you feel like you have not got a nice scent and you don't know what to do, and about like picking candles and also some suggestions of candles. I literally, on my, if you ever watched any of my come shop with me, no use, my sense of smell, as I say, is honest, but so my facial expressions. Like, best believe if a candle is woeful, my face will tell you before anything else. Like, there's no hiding the fact. So I feel like I have been through my fair share of candles. Like, obviously my old job, like being a merchandiser and often on the candle wall, I have been through my fair share of scents, both good, bad and ugly. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I wouldn't count myself as some form of expert, but I wouldn't say I'm half bad, do you know what I mean? Especially as just a normal consumer, So creating a signature scent for your home, especially if you've just moved into your own home and you don't know what you're doing, you've come to the right place. You're listening to the right podcast. So you've got to think about scent like you do perfume. Okay, you've got to think about them layers, because and I know if you put perfume on, gorge, unreal, you smell luxurious, you smell good. But it's all about starting in the shower, scrubbing, exfoliating, your body lotion, your things like that. Like, I am a huge fan of Penhaligon's, if you're listening. Big shout out to Penhaligon's. This is not an ad, but if you want to sponsor the podcast, please be my guest. Anyway, I'm a big fan of Penhaligon's, and the lovely team in Liverpool are so helpful. And they were telling me all about, like, obviously I don't know the science, so I'm not even gonna go into that. Like, I'm only touching the surface here, but when you obviously have the products underneath and you create layers, it makes your perfume last longer. And I thought, okay, whatever you say. And then I did it on a night out, and the compliments I got, I thought, I haven't changed my perfume, I've just changed the layering process. So the idea of then creating that in our home, how are we going to do that? So there's a few things. First off, your cleaning products, what are you using? Do they smell nice? Apparently them Spanish cleaning products smell great. I don't know. We use a Flora. I'm giving you my big secrets because, as I say, people compliment our home scent. Lemons. It's not lemons of Flora. I believe it is... I don't know. We've been using the winter one, actually. Big shout out to the winters of Flora. I mean, it's practically winter. It's July, using the muggy surroundings on this podcast. If you watch on YouTube, it's July and it's pouring with rain. It really is not the vibes right now. Then when you have selected your cleaning products, you need to think about your candles and your diffusers. Okay, so they're like your next layer. Now, what we don't want is don't want jarring odours. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips on that. So you need to make sure the scents flow to one another. Like, you want to actually spread out your candles or your diffusers, and you don't want them to be overpowering in any form, whatever that may be, because you will tell, like, say if you go from like your hallway into like the bedroom, you'll just get like that jarring of the scent, and you'll probably not recognise it, but now that I'm telling you, you'll be like, oh my god, yeah, you know, like when there's like, I don't want to say pungent, because pungent's like a negative word, isn't it? But like that sort of overpowering odour that you don't want. Like, we want a really nice mix of fragrance. So it's up to you what you actually do pick, by the way. Like, we all have different hair nostrils. What I might love, you might hate. So, you know, even though we did say that my face literally tells a story, it doesn't mean that you are going to hate it. I just have a very strong sense of smell. And what do you want to create as well? Like, what sort of ambiance, you know? What kind of vibe do you want in your home? Like, are you a seasonal person? Like, do you want to create, like, you know, the way, like, the White Company do, like, seasonal candles, like, they're known for that? Do you want, like, 4 different scents a year? Do you want a statement scent? Do you want just one, like, scent, even if it's, like, pumpkin? If you want pumpkin all year round, you know what I mean? Like, you need to, like, find your statement. And also, it's about placement. It's not just for show and styling. I can't believe I've just said that. That's like going against my everything I stand for. But you need to make sure that your candles actually are doing the job, which is like, sometimes it's not for shit. I mean, to be fair, I'm terrible. Like, if I get a really, like, you shouldn't do this. Like, you know the way they say, like, don't save your, like, your best outfit for best. Like, you should, like, live every day, like, as if it's like a party. Have you heard that saying? It's something like that. I've probably said it completely wrong, and I do love a good quote. I've said it wrong. How good's that? But we should use our good candles all the time. So I've got so many, like, Penhaligon's and Jo Malone. Like, I feel like for me they're like my expensive scents. I won't burn them. I will literally won't burn them, and I'm just thinking they're gonna be sat there for 20 years. So do you know what I mean? I think when I finally finish the studio, I've had this studio for 3 years, and it's still not finished. It's honestly an ongoing project. I'm actually repainting it. I'm selling a load of stuff, by the way. Why have I gone off on that? No one cares. It's a podcast. Anyway, what was I even saying there? I've gone off on one. Yeah, me scent. Anyway, my expensive scent. I am going to start burning it because it's just pointless. It's just a really stupid thing. Not like, people have gifted me them to enjoy the scent experience. So it's given rude, but I do prefer a diffuser, you know, use. Like, if you get a really good, strong diffuser, I'm going to throw a few suggestions at you shortly, really good, and they have a really good reach on them as well. Like, that's what it's about, like, the positioning of your candles and diffusers, like high traffic zones, best possible reach in your home. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you've got high traffic in your hallway, in your kitchen, monitor that and think, that's where I need to put that candle or that diffuser. Like, you should know your own high traffic areas in your home. If you don't, maybe create like some form of map. I know it sounds silly, but like, you want to utilize like your diffusers and fragrances. Like, we have like a window in our hallway, like midpoint on like our staircase, and we put a diffuser there, and honestly, it's amazing. It's a great placement from ourselves, to just get that really good, powerful, high maximum scent, if that makes sense. So yeah, candles, wax melts are best in like enclosed spaces for more a concentrated effect, and then diffusers, candles in like your high traffic areas. And then I've put here a little point as well before I get onto my personal faves, just because I thought this was really interesting. One thing that I do love about scent, but also hate, is it's something that's currently non-virtual. Like, scent can't be captured by photo. it's literally an experience. Like when I do my TikToks, as I said, like the faces are pull are literally a picture, but the fact is you can't smell through my phone, which is crazy. And I just think, is that something that's going to be possible in the future? Like, is there going to be like a little like poof of like scent odor come out your phone like when you press a button? Like, is that going to be a scientific thing that we're going to be able to do? I don't know, but like everyone's probably laughing thinking, oh my god, imagine. But like, if I asked my mum and dad if they thought iPhones and cameras and me creating a podcast would be a thing, they would probably laugh at me. They do. They say that I wouldn't have believed that when I was your age. So it's kind of like, am I already predicting science in the future? I don't know. Ask me in 20 years when I re-release this podcast episode and ask for my money because I've created science. No, but wouldn't that be so cool? Like, and so interesting. Like, there's so many things we can do and see on our phones, but scent's not like virtual. Sorry, scent is virtual, not virtual. Have I said the right thing? You know what I mean? Like, no, it is virtual. Is it virtual? It's not an experience. Basically, what I'm trying to say. What I do love is about that. Sorry, I do go off on one, but have you been to one of those 5D cinemas? That's what I'm talking about. Like, there's one in town, the Beatles Museum do one, which I love, and it is the Beatles story. And there's a 5D museum, like the chair moves, there's scent going on. I think they spray water in your face. I haven't been for years. I'm actually going to go back to that because it was so sick. But it's like I think they do one in America as well, like in Disneyland, like the Hulk or something, and it's like you experience all the senses. But that's what we're doing here. We are literally creating a full experience in your home because it's something that is so minimal and probably you could do cheap as well, affordable, and it can just change and transform the feeling in your home. You can make it feel like a hotel, and that's something that I love to do. So going off on that, my personal faves. So if you are a home scent shopper like myself, DW, amazing candles. They're the best burners. Like, as I say, me and the staff in there have been through our fair share of candles, and DW is top tier. It's really good. I'd say second best would probably be Sand and Fog. It's a good burner, but getting that right scent. But DW, I absolutely love. They're an American brand. America always get the scents first, and then we get them like later. But amazing, so good. I'd say as well, if you are shopping in home scents, sorry, bronchitis just appeared there, didn't it? Like the latter effects. I would say as well, Crispy diffusers, amazing. They actually sell them in Selfridges, but you can get them in home scents for like a fraction of the price. And people don't realise, like, I think they're $19.99 in home scents or TK, and like 100 in Selfridges. And I'm like, every time I post them, I'm like, why is everyone sleeping on these? I just think they're amazing. Actually a low-key brand as well who send me diffusers, shout out to them. I'd never heard of them. I think they're called Marmalade. Their diffusers are amazing. So good. They sent me them, like, and obviously, like, really grateful for that. And I haven't stopped using them. I'll go back to them time and time again. They're amazing. They're so strong. So obviously in your high traffic areas, amazing. So yeah, they're like me top. White Company, you can't go wrong. I'd probably say Seychelles is probably one of my favourite, but also an underrated scent is the spa ones. Wow, yeah, if you want your house to smell like a spa, definitely get on there. Obviously we had Utility suggest patchouli as a scent. I think I've said that wrong. Love that for me. Penhaligon's, wow. I don't know what scent I get. I think it might be Amber Rose. I've probably made that up. It's the brown one anyway. That one is fab. I've held, why is there a pigeon right there? No, this pigeon's just been on the roof, tapping away, like literally tap dancing on the roof, and now he's on. Honestly, anyway, sorry. This is how badly distracted I get. It's not even funny. I'll have to stop looking out the window. Yeah, so Penhaligon's, and obviously Jo Malone is a really good. Jo Malone's gingerbread one at Christmas. Wow, that is amazing. I would recommend that if you want any Christmas scent, defo Jo Malone. Also as well, actually another brand in home scent, 96. They give real, can't ever say this word, baobab candles. Like, they give that real luxury look. But I've never actually burnt them. I've only ever had them for show, so I can't rate that, because obviously it's really important for burn time. Like, for example, I would recommend like Aldi candles, but I don't want to say how good the burn time is on them because I've heard mixed reviews, but they do look like the White Company dupe, so, you know, take it as you will with that. Plug-in diffusers, I personally don't use, but I know a lot of people do. I know that Airwick do good ones, I believe. Again, I don't know. But as I say, it's all about what you like, what you prefer, like, and what you prefer, like, in terms of burning. Like, I don't prefer candles, I prefer diffusers over candles, but I would use a candle. So It's all about exploring your scent as well. I know that there's loads of places like Joe Malone's Experiences, Penhaligon's, like finding your scent. There's so many places that you can reach out to who do free consultations to find your perfect scent. So take advantage of them and like use them. And obviously, if you're ever out and about with home scents and you see me, I can help you find your scent. No, literally everyone will be there now. Everyone will be bombarding me. Hi, will you help me find my scent? So yeah, that is literally all my knowledge on scent. And also, we're back with our listener question. Okay, we did stop the listener questions, but they're back. If you do want to ask a listener question, please do follow me on Instagram. You can either ask it, send it over on Fenland Interiors or on the Minds of Interior Designer Instagram, or even email me on my account, which is also linked. Anyway, this week's question: do you think it matters to have branded homeware, or are the dupes just as good? Wow, great question. Do you know what? I'm such a lover of dupes, and I feel like it gets a love-hate feedback, doesn't it, really? Like, I think dupes are great because obviously not everyone can afford them, but I am aware, obviously, you feel like it rips off the designer. As I said, I've just went to Utility to see their opening of the furniture store, and they are really big on making sure that the designers get their value. Like, I've seen big massive balloon dogs, and like they're from a designer called Jeff Koons, but obviously HomeSense do balloon dogs, which I own. Bear Bricks, again, big Bear Brick fan. I don't actually own a real one, which is embarrassing, and also the fact that I've spent enough on Bear Bricks now to probably have afforded a real one, but yet she still proceeds to buy the dupes. But it brings me joy, it brings me excitement, and I've probably got about 20 dupes now, including this table underneath. But I just think it's a great way for people to afford it, but also I understand, like, you know, there is a bit of backlash on it. You know, there is a bit of debate on socials. Don't get me wrong, I've had a bit of hate on my videos, I'm going to be real, like, and the actual designers obviously, like, commenting under them, and no way, shape or form am I out here to, like, disregard their creativity and their, you know, amazing ideas. It's just what retailers bring out, and unfortunately there's no sort of like rules in place yet for designers to get the credit that they deserve. And don't get me wrong, I sort of think it's like good publicity, bad publicity is good publicity. Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody is sharing, this is a dupe of, it's still going to be publicity for that. So for example, you know, the White Company, great candles, then Aldi brought one out, and then the White Company had publicity from that. Whether that was good or bad, I don't know, but I say, you know, any publicity is good publicity. But then people were saying the Aldi ones didn't burn as good and they were just for show. They preferred to burn the White Company ones, so they went back there. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of that debate. In terms of actual, like, are they as good? Again, like, quality of homeware is probably going to be reduced, do you know what I mean, from a handmade piece. Like, I'm fully aware the Bear Bricks that I purchase aren't the quality of the real Bear Bricks. Like, I am fully aware of that. Like, that doesn't, do you know what I mean? Again, with the candles, the burning of them, you don't know, you need to look at like the materials they're made out of, like the sort of wax that it's made from, because it might not be as good as a burner due to that. So yeah, there is a lot of aspects that you need to think of in terms of, is it better? I don't think it's a case of is it better, I just think it's a case of it's more affordable. You know, I love Soho Home, but realistically at this moment in time, I can't afford Soho Home, do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, in 10 years time, when I'm going girly, when the podcast is doing good and I'm buying Soho Home furniture, I'll still be saying, listen, there's a dupe there, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just a girly from Liverpool, you know, I want affordable homeware. But like, I'm not disregarding the fact that Soho Home create amazing homeware, and I will raise like the roof about that. But obviously, if like HomeSense done now and bring a dupe out for the likes of us, you know, middle class homies, then I'm gonna rave about it. I'm gonna post a TikTok. It is what it is. It's kind of just, you know what I mean. Like, for example, makeup brands do a perfume brand, so obviously it's about you assessing whether it's worth the quality. A lot of the homeware is amazing quality, don't get me wrong, but it's not So Home, it's not White Company. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not it, but it's it. Does that make sense? So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think it's just sort of, it's each their own, basically. I'm not opposed to a dupe, and I probably won't be in 10 years time, even when I'm buying Soho. Probably ever seen a stool that was the exact same but cheaper, I'd be like, well, Gilly's saving a fortune, she might want to go to the Maldives instead of buying that sofa because that's how expensive it is. But I'm not disregarding that. Like, I love Soho Home, please don't. And speaking of Soho Home, if anyone still wants to take me to Soho Farmhouse and has a membership, thanks, I'm here, I'm really here. But no, anyway, I'm going to leave it there before I go off on one, because I could give you my life story quite literally on this pod. But I just want to say a huge thank you for listening. I do hope you got some knowledge on scent, and if you're still a little bit confused and it made absolutely no sense, do give me a message on my socials. And I hope I am back for good. To say this every time, don't I? But if you can subscribe, that will mean the world, because actually I've got really amazing news. Like, I can't believe it. I'm in that American, like, if you're an American listener, thank you so much. We're in the podcast charts over there. I think it's like we're ranked 46 in design. I say we, I like to say we, because we come as a team. Like, I can create these podcast episodes, but if you don't listen, it literally just is me, and I don't want to be me, I want to be we. Do you get what I mean? So we're in this together. We're in the American podcast charts. Like, that has blown my mind, and this is why I need to be more consistent, because like, I'm not creating enough episodes for you to listen to weekly and things like that. So if there's any topics that you do want me to talk about, again, hit me up, let me know. And yeah, that is the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. As I say, please do make sure you are subscribed, and I will catch you on the next episode.